last time on Dragon Ball Z, you guys had made it to Ivo's laboratory and had lots of good reason to hate Ivo. And in what ended up being kind of a strange fight, Ivo had brought in all of his simulacrums, his robots that looked very, very similar to him to various degrees. And you guys had to fight them all, trying to figure out which one was the right one without them all exploding and destroying you. And after a little while, you managed to defeat Ivo. And I think for the first time, you explicitly chose that this wasn't someone that you were going to let live. He had done too many bad things, and also just the situation didn't really allow for it. So I think you kept his head, but you defeated Ivo. You got everyone out that you could, and exhausted and frustrated and angry and all full of all these emotions, you left and you returned back to the caravan. You did take some notes. So you guys have notes about the things that Ivo had been doing and how he did it. But you guys went back to the caravan where you found all of your friends had gathered. So you had Liv from the island of Mispache, you had Rusty, Butterbeard, Penelo, Redbeak, all of your friends, Luna from the caravan itself. They were all there, and they basically said, hey, we're here for you guys. We know that basically what's next is to go and attack Velrath, and we're here to help you. So you guys just began making some plans. You had some conversations, and then you also realized you were very tired. And so you guys got some rest. You went to sleep. And as you guys went to sleep in preparation to finish making your plans the following morning and make your final ascent, I guess, into Velrath's lair, we left you guys. And that's what we'll pick up, is as you guys fall asleep, making your final preparations for your attack on Velrath's fortress. The night passes. It's relatively uneventful. And the sun begins to rise on a new day. One thing before the sun fully rises, as you guys are in REM sleep, you guys are doing that weird thing where they're flickering around under your eyelids. Doc, you in your sleep have a dream or a vision. It's maybe hard to distinguish. You've had these once or twice throughout your life where you have these dreams. You've kind of always just written them off historically, where you recall the Lord of the Whales. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just memories of that fateful day when you felt complicit in the death of the Lord of the Whale. Other times, though, you felt like that dream, that vision, that moment takes a turn, and it's like that it really focuses on that moment when the Lord of the Whales kind of connected with you. And you've always kind of wondered if there was something more to it. You feel like in that moment, it's like that character in the story takes its own personality and is more than just a memory, but is actually like its own thing that's kind of trying to tell you something and communicate with you and impart knowledge to you. And this night, that has felt more true than ever. You have this dream where you're at sea on one of your old vessels, and you see the Lord of the Whales kind of rise up from the water. You see him in his current form, which is this kind of phantasmal beast, but healed of all of the kind of the rot and decay. And it's looking at you, not in pain, not in anger, but clearly almost paternally, kind of looking to try and help you, recognizing that you are getting ready to enter into something that's going to be very difficult. And you see it just kind of looking at you, almost as if inviting you to a conversation, though you've never been able to actually speak to. It's never spoken to you in words before. And you just kind of find yourself there on the bow of your ship as a captain. There's no crew there, just out in the expanse of the sea with the whale in front of you. What do you want to do? Do you want to say anything to the whale? You don't have to. You can just be silent.
I think that Doc would be reverent in this moment. Not in like a bow your head, close your eyes sort of way, but just like hands there on the railing, just looking at the Lord of the Whales. And eventually he would speak and say, my goal is to bring you back somehow if it's at all possible. But that is a difficult task, my friend. I will do whatever I can, but I'm walking into situations and places and things I never thought I would need to. And to be honest, I'm not scared, but I'm uncertain on the next right path, the right choice, how to handle what's coming today, what's coming tomorrow, and months from now as we continue on this journey. But I would ask, humbly, that you would guide me and that you would help me to see this journey through to its end.
You see the Lord of the Whales just kind of looks at you, and it sees that you're, feeling a little bit of trepidation maybe in this moment. Not quite fear, but uncertainty. And it just kind of pauses and it acknowledges and incorporates this. And then you see it does something that is unexpected to you. It starts to just kind of fill with this energy, like this brightness from, you'll recall the last time you saw it, because it's in this sort of phantasmal form, you can actually see its heart beating inside of its chest through its semi-translucent skin. And you see from that heart, it starts to glow and this energy seems to build. And in a way that's almost familiar to you at this point, the ocean water itself and all of the sea mist that's spread across the deck of the ship starts to rise up in droplets around you, like it's all just being filled with this intense energy. And the ocean itself starts to crash and shake. And you feel the Lord of the Whales does not speak in any way, it never has. It doesn't seem to speak common or have a direct language that it uses. But it almost does, it does like the equivalent of a roar, whatever that would be for a whale. It's this deep, bassy, like a subwoofer that's just going at its loudest volume. You almost feel it more than you hear it. And it's just shaking everything. But this does not fill you with fear. Something about this fills you with a confidence and a strength that feels incredibly refreshing and affirming. And as this booming noise comes out, you see all these droplets rise up, and he just kind of looks at you, and you have this moment of eye contact and connection, and all of these droplets start to form together in this swirl in front of you. And a moment later, as this just starts to swirl and mix and splash, there's the kind of an explosion and a splash of water, and you kind of, it gets in your face, and you kind of have to look away for a second. And when you look again, the Lord of the Whales has calmed back down and has lowered back into the water. So you just kind of see his nose peeking up out of the water. But standing in front of you on the deck of this ship is this horse made completely out of water, but a steed like the finest Mustang you've ever seen. And It's standing there almost as if it's waiting for you to ride it into battle. And you see the Lord of the Whales just kind of nods at you and dips back under the water. And you have a moment to kind of react to this.
I think Doc would kind of stand in awe at this creature. And in this moment, like in my mind, Doc's on the ship, right? Mm-hmm. He's on his ship, the ship that it used to be. And as the camera kind of pans out to show Doc bonding with this creature, you finally see the name of the ship. The original name of the ship was the Tidebreaker. And Doc looks at this creature and says, "That will be your name, Tidebreaker." And because my ship is no longer called that anymore. And he, in this dream, gets on this horse. In the actual world, this horse could not do this, but in this dream, he like gets on the horse and like rides through
across the water.
Like across the water. It can't actually do this. It's just summon steed, everybody. But it's in this dream, like he is like truly bonding. He feels like this deeper connection to the water than he ever has before. And he's just riding and galloping and just the ocean spray everywhere. And he just feels much more confident and invigorated than he has in a long time.
Not to undercut the sincerity of it, but I can't help but imagine that like Ez is sitting there awake and he looks over and like, you know how like when a dog is dreaming, they like are moving a little bit. He looks over and Doc is just kind of like
Ez is just like pauses on his bird pipes for a second, just looks over like, okay. And then like
honestly,
goes back
man.
to play his bird pipes. Half tempted to use read thoughts to see what it is you're dreaming about.
Yeah.
Wonderful. As the sun rises and you all begin to wake up, what are you guys doing this fine morning? Anything in particular?
You just wake up to Ez playing the bird pipes.
Polaris
big bags under your eyes.
Polaris is digging out the stone that was the center of copper out of her bag. She's kind of taking a look at it, going through her bag, looking at like different bits and bobs that she has within her bag. And then she puts the stone back in, nestles it in, and does what she did the first time she made copper, closes up her bag and just gives it a really good little shake. And you just see like sparks kind of coming from the bag and like, you know, kind of cartoony almost. And then she flips it out and out drops copper again. And she
I like the idea that this is your
like
like
big old hug.
This is your highly technical engineering training that you've learned.
Just throw a bunch of stuff in a bag and shake it up.
Complicated set of instructions.
It's only copper. It's only copper.
Shake it
You guys wouldn't understand. This is I went to university for this. You wouldn't get it. As you're just shaking aggressively.
She tinkered like the BD1 cannon that she had that she can make. She like clearly builds and tinkers and like you can see.
But not for this.
But like the copper is like there's something magical happening in the process of this. That's
yeah. Okay.
So she's happily just
copper
cuddling copper in the corner.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
Doc, are you able to summon your steed whenever you want?
Yeah,
Like,
when
is
Doc
it just
wakes
around
up,
all the time?
So it is a level 2 spell, technically, and I would say when he wakes up in the morning, it's already been summoned. So he's already there. He's always around. If he gets taken on in combat, I do have to use a spell slot to bring him back. And if I have no level 2 spell slots, he's not coming back for the moment. Yeah.
So you guys wake. Well, I guess in that case, you would have noticed as during the night that as Doc was having this dream, that this full-sized water horse just appears next to Doc, and it just stands there, kind of looks at you, and kind of snorts and sniffs, just like, "What are you looking at?" Like, just a horse.
Ez would just stop playing. Hi, I'm Ez. Goes back to playing.
Oh man, everything in me wants to just decide right now
Wait.
that this horse can speak common.
Well, right. Does it
It's
have any
turns to you, it's like,
languages?
hey.
Because Ez can speak with animals.
So, I would say that speak with animals probably would work with him. He knows telepathy. Doc can communicate with Tidebreaker via telepathy, but I would think if you could do speak with animals, you could probably also talk with.
So Ez would ritually cast speak with animals
man.
and would be like, "Hi, I'm Ez. Who are you?"
I'm Tidebreaker.
Oh god.
Well, I didn't imagine your voice was gonna sound like that. You looked more like kind, but
He
hi.
doesn't sound like an old lady.
Yeah.
He is kind.
I am God.
I mean, I don't know. We just met. I'm just saying.
Oh,
But I'm Ez.
It's good to
What's
meet you,
your name's
Ez.
Tidebreaker? I'm gonna guess you're
like a
that guy.
mix between-
Yeah.
The breaker of tides.
I'm gonna
the
guess
Dark
you're Docs.
Knight and Venom.
The very spirit of the waves.
Oh, you're a spirit of the way. So wait, are you tied to Doc or are you tied to Ghana? They both have things to do with water.
I have been sent to serve. What was your I have been
Storm.
sent to serve the storm.
Oh, I met the storm. He's not here
And
though. We just have Doc.
Any snacks that you may need. Did you need them?
Snacks?
Oh, you have snacks?
I
You
can
like-
fetch them for you.
Oh man.
I will
Oh,
take
I
snacks.
thought Tidebreaker wanted snacks.
I will take
an
snacks.
I
for the horse.
serve the storm and I serve snack.
Well, I have to stay up all night, so if you want to get snacks, I could use some.
As you wish. My master is asleep, though. You see him just kind of trot off and start finding some berries, and he goes into like the canteen tent at the caravan, and you just see like you hear like pots and pans getting knocked over, and things
Stealth
getting
roll of
and he comes
0.
out carrying like a bag.
I'm
Yeah,
just
he comes
envisioning
out-
The horse from Tangled.
Yeah, he's just carrying a
Mulan.
bag of oats, and there's like on his back there's like some berries and things, and he just carries them over and sets them next to you. And you guys spend the night just kind of getting to know each other and,
Ez
and
will
becoming friends.
pull out a leaf and put it on his snout.
Oh, he eats that right away. Yeah.
Delicious.
Delicious.
That's not what that's for.
An
Ooh,
edible hat.
Yeah. I'll get another leaf sometime. Sorry. It's yeah. That's okay.
So you guys wake up, and Doc, you find that Tidebreaker is there with you. Polaris has created a new version of Copper that she's just kind of hanging out with. What else is going on this morning?
Ghana needs to pray to Ayun, not only to get his new spells for the day, but also because he wants to talk to Ayun.
I need to have a word
Yes, yes, we need to talk. It
Oh,
is
no.
not me, it's you.
with you. So this
Uh-oh.
this caravan is kind of on this long beach, and so you, as I recall, when you have the option, you prefer to do your morning prayer kind of in the shallow waters, right? So,
Well, that's when I talk to the Merid.
oh, that's right, that's right. So you could just stay over here and just find kind of a quiet
Yeah.
spot and meditate.
Yeah, so he'll find a spot off in the corner, probably surrounded by all of his books that he's not allowed to have in his ring right now. Because
He's allowed to. He chose to take those out because he was.
well, yeah, because he doesn't want them to blow up. So he's probably anyone that's ever played Minecraft, the enchanting table, where you have to have like this square of books around. Like he's created like this
Mhm.
this circle of just scrolls and books, and he's sitting in the middle of it.
His happy place.
And he's going to pray to Ayun.
Yeah. When he's praying to Ayun, I don't remember if we established this before, but I think at least the way that Ayun presents himself to Tones is just kind of like this bright light of just knowledge incarnate. Doesn't really take much of a form.
Ayun
It's just
is a
kind
female.
of this, like staring into the sun. Well, he then.
Do gods have genders?
How am
I
I
feel
supposed
like
to know?
gods
Isn't-
have genders.
I think knowledge is a gender, but I don't know. We'll use she for her for now. That's fine.
Proverbs made
Knowledge is not gendered.
wisdom a woman, so
That's right. There you go.
There we
You know
go.
what? I like that better. If we're talking about like Lady Wisdom as like a representation of Ayun, no, I can't do that. It was going to be another old woman. Nope, it's just a bright light. There you go.
All
So
right.
anyway, you're sitting there basking in the warmth of this kind of bright light and having a conversation.
I have been a faithful follower since as long as I can remember. I have never questioned or doubted. But I have to question now. Why was this allowed to happen? Was in that laboratory. There was a lot. We were talking like several dozen people that he had made into like simulacrums of himself that were just going to continue to fall off the walls, right?
Yeah, there was quite a few. These were all these, like we said,
We're
political
saying
prisoners.
like over 100 or like not quite 100.
I want to say, I don't know, like 50 plus.
Okay.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. Total. But that's just what was there. I mean, who knows over the course of the decades that he's been doing this work.
It was in that laboratory alone. The minds, the lives, the knowledge that was lost. All of those people turned into mindless shells. How could you have not intervened? I cannot be the only follower capable of dealing with this.
Remind me, just so I remember your lore correctly. The Church of Ayun that you grew up in, virtually everyone else that was part of that is dead now, right? They're all gone.
Yeah, like only because he outlived them. Like Loxodons live for anywhere between like 400 to 700 years, whereas most other
Yeah.
races have like typically a human-like lifespan,
Yeah.
aside from elves and dwarves.
I think that Ayun, you know at this point that Ayun does not communicate to you, similar to the whale, is not a creature that communicates to you in just straightforward prose and sentences, right? It doesn't just give you information. Probably not surprisingly, a being of great wisdom and infinite knowledge chooses to try and communicate in ways that help you arrive at conclusions yourself, and uses visions and imagery rather than words to try to convey deeper truths. And so as you ask this question, within the light, you start to see these images, and you see maybe almost hard to see this because of the memories it brings back, but you see images of all of your old peers, some mentors, even people that were from the Temple of Ayun that you grew up with, and images of them being so devoted to their studies and so devoted to their library of work and to learning, going out and gathering more books and more knowledge. And you see moments where he's kind of showing you that he would give them visions of injustice happening, and that historically other members of the church of Ioun had kind of tried to ignore that and push it back and had reasons, and they were always like, look, that's not for us. We are just the arbiters of knowledge, the gatherers of knowledge. It's not for us to mete out justice and to control how that knowledge is used. And they had become almost this ascetic group that withdrew in many ways from the rest of the world other than to get knowledge from them. And you can almost feel in Ioun in this moment, he's imparting like these emotions of lament, that he felt like in some ways those people had lost their way and becoming so devoted to simply becoming learners of they had stopped caring about the use of that knowledge. And you also in that moment kind of feel a sense of pride as Ioun is recognizing in you that you are learning. And Ioun, she feels like you are learning something important in this experience, something that she had hoped you would have to kind of reckon with, which is that, you know, the knowledge itself isn't all that matters. How it's used and who's using it and how it gets disseminated is part of what she cares about deeply. And it was something that many of her people had forgotten. She's intensely proud of you in this moment that you are kind of relearning this tradition of Ioun that had been forgotten.
And he'd ask, did we do the right thing? In killing him. Because
in killing him?
One of like the truths for like Ioun is that all life is precious, because any loss of life is loss of knowledge.
Yeah. Again, just in kind of imagery, you see these two paths kind of in front of you. On the left, you see this path where he hadn't been killed, and you guys had shown mercy and allowed him to survive, and he kills and eliminates so many more lives in the process. On the other side, you see where you did kill him, and that knowledge is now gone. But all these other people are surviving, and you feel this kind of not a shrug, but like a recognition from Ioun that sometimes certain things are not as black and white as you would like in terms of right or wrong. But you certainly did save much knowledge by preventing him from doing more damage than he already had done. And that Ioun understood and didn't blame or critique you for having done that, and was grateful for you for having finally done something about this when so many of her other followers had become kind of numb to and apathetic about these kinds of things.
Well, that definitely changes what spells he's going to prepare now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the takeaway is that Ioun cares deeply about knowledge, but never wanted her followers to become so withdrawn that they use that as an excuse not to defend the use of knowledge in the right way, or when knowledge is used to suppress more knowledge, right? So, like Ivo killing so many people, preserving his knowledge just at the expense of so many others is like Pilate washing his hands, right? It's like you have a responsibility. Ioun asks her followers to try and take an active role, wishes that her followers would take a more active role in preserving what knowledge can be preserved, and does also give you a sense of appreciation for trying to preserve his notebooks, Ivo's notebooks, so that it can be learned from and avoided in the future. Feels like that was a wise choice.
All right.
As you're in this vision, kind of off to the side, you see Nemo is as he often is, just kind of cooking. You just kind of see a vision into his space, and he's just kind of like, "Hey, man, doesn't sound like you need anything from me. Sounds like you're good. Hope you're having a good day." And he just kind of goes back to his thing, and you wake up, and you're back. Not wake up, but you kind of come back to the present from your meditation. Anything else need to happen this morning as you guys kind of gather back up and are starting to get ready for your day? As you guys kind of get back together, there's still kind of a small fire that you guys have set up your little groups camp around in the midst of this larger caravan. You guys are sitting there. All of your friends are kind of in their various places. They've kind of been making themselves at home in this caravan. You guys are sitting there, maybe just having some conversation. I would imagine maybe trying to begin thinking about like, hey, how are we gonna do this? And you see your various allies have kind of come over, and so now it's going to be a little bit of a bigger group. Now I forget exactly how many that is. I could count. It's like 12 or so of you guys altogether, 11 that are now gathered around this fire, and you guys are having conversation. Remind me, which of you guys is holding on to the various sending stones, or at least specifically Ivo's sending stone? Did we ever establish that, or did someone want to
Ez
claim
should
it?
have Ivo's sending stone because he has Ivo's soul.
Right. I think Doc had the other ones. Doc's kind of like the leader.
There
of
was
the
a
group.
sending stone. There was a sending stone for Ivo that was over on like the surgical table. It was almost kind of
Right.
forgotten. It was just there underneath all of his other implements.
Yeah, Ez didn't
sending
grab
stone,
it,
one of you
but I
guys
know
took it.
someone
Rusty
snagged
had
it.
some.
Well, Ord's sending stone we gave to Rusty.
Yes. Rusty
Yeah.
had
Right.
Ords.
Then Jack gave us a sending stone. Jack said he was going to try to like figure out more stuff that would help us. We haven't heard anything from that guy.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that he.
Oh, we should probably
You
try
have.
to
yeah,
talk to
I'm
him.
pretty sure he
He's
was
been
just
busy.
like,
You can call him whenever you want.
I'll help you guys.
He has
Don't
been
kill
busy.
me. And then he just booked it.
No, he's been busy. You should call him sometime. But so who did we say who's holding on to at least Ivo's sending stone?
Ez has
Yes.
Ivo's. I'm
Doesn't really
guessing
matter,
the party
actually.
would give it to him once
Yeah.
they know he can turn
Cool.
into them.
Okay. So you've got your bag, and you feel you hear and you feel like a radiating, pulsing arcana coming from the sending stone, which is a signal that you guys would know is an indication that someone is trying to basically connect the line on the sending stone. They're trying to. It's ringing, for lack of a better term,
Oof.
but in human English.
So if I turn into Ivo, I will have his voice. But
Mhm.
then I'll only
But
be
it will be your
Ivo
one
for
use
an
of
hour.
it.
But I will only be Ivo for an hour.
Yeah,
So,
and you can only do that once, right? Per soul.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to decide if that's something you want to do now, but it's ringing, so you guys have to make a decision pretty quick. Are you going to try and
Yeah,
turn into
as-
Ivo and
as
answer it,
sending
or
Sending
is someone going
stones
to answer
work
it?
differently in this world? Because sending stone as an item says that a 25-word message is telepathically like put into your brain.
No, we're treating them basically like
Telephones?
like cell phones,
Okay.
but they're cell phone. They're like paired cell phones, so they can only like one. They're 1-to-1,
Got it.
unless you magically can like use Arcana to reprogram them.
Polaris is gonna call out to Rusty. Rusty, can you mimic Ivo's voice?
I could try. I honestly, it's been a long time since I've been around him, so it would be
Say
hard.
something real quick,
I
just so we
wouldn't-
can tell you if you sound like him. Say something to us. We just heard his
Let me
voice
see.
recently, so.
I am evil. I am evil. I am evil. I don't. Was he? Ah, shoot.
He sounded more
You
East
may have
German.
German.
He was-
He sounded more East German.
He sounded.
German,
He was
that's what it
German.
was.
He
What's a
sounded
German?
more
Yeah,
East
he was your
German.
typical.
What's a German?
I am evil. Here, let me give her a roll.
Well, there you go. Performance.
10. You rolled a 10.
So extremely
6, 7?
average.
A very
I don't think
average
that's gonna do it,
impersonation.
y'all.
It's still ringing.
Is Ivo not very busy with his experiments? Perhaps it is not unusual for him not to pick up why it was so dusty.
Maybe.
It goes out. You guys don't have. Oh, you do have Jack's, right? Jack has one that he
Yes.
can reach you on, but he also gave you. That's what I thought. You see, Jack's starts to ring.
The one that where Jack has the other one, or it's
Yeah,
the
Jack
one
has
that-
the other one of it.
So wait,
The one that Velrath would have used to call, that he
The
would have gotten calls from
Velrath's
Velrath
one.
on.
Okay, not
Oh.
the
The
one
one-
with Jack.
The one that Velrath would have, the one that he would have gotten calls from. Each of them had a sending stone that they used to communicate back and forth with Velrath.
Can we put Jax up against Jax and have them talk together?
You're gonna call
Oh.
Jack on the
and
sending
just
stone
put
I've
the
to
two
done
sending
that.
talk to him.
stones together.
put the two.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Oh
that's
my
So
the-
while his
gosh.
phone is ringing, you're gonna try to call Jack.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the goal.
Okay, so you have one phone ringing in your left hand. On your right hand, you're calling Jack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. So while this phone is going,
This is a
On the
DM's
other-
worst nightmare is when the players make
totally
a
fine.
piece or an NPC at RP with another NPC and all the players just sit back and watch.
so you guys try to call Jack while the other phone is still ringing in your other hand,
Yeah.
and you just hear, look, hello, who is this?
Hey, Jack, it's Doc. Velrath is calling, and we need you to talk to him.
No. He knows that I'm on the lam. He's not gonna want to hear from me. Why would he be calling?
Ivo's rang, and now yours is ringing. I'm assuming.
Did you
the next-
answer?
No. Why would we answer?
As far as I know, he thinks I'm dead, and I'd rather keep it that way. Look, I have some information I need to give you. I am not dealing with Velrath right now. Once you've gotten that handled, call me back. Otherwise, no thanks. And
You hear a click from the other line, and he's gone.
If he thinks he's
look
dead,
at
why
the
would he call him?
party and say, "Did I just answer?"
Well, let's see if it connects to what's his face, because Rusty can impersonate him.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
What's the hurt, right?
A moment later, the phone finishes ringing. It's it's presumably gone to voicemail. Giovanni's sending stone starts to ring.
I can't assume
Oh boy.
that someone other than Velrath has the sending stones of all of these people.
So Rusty was at the encounter with Giovanni.
With Giovanni.
Is she able to
Yeah,
try?
do you want me to do a roll to see how she can?
See if she's able to.
Yeah.
Or do we take this as a sign to just quickly rush the castle, rush the citadel?
Or talk to Velrath. 15. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You
Doc
can,
hands her the sending star.
I'm gonna now. I need to roll for Velrath's perception.
Oh boy.
So you're handing it to her. What instructions are you giving Rusty for like what you're trying to have her do as she answers the phone?
Pretend you're Giovanni. See what he wants.
Okay. Great. So she picks up the phone, and she does a remarkably good impersonation of Giovanni. She says, "Hey, Velrath, what do you need?" And she puts it on speakerphone so you guys can hear. That's a setting that these have. And you hear from the other end of the line,
That's a pretty convincing Giovanni. I would have believed it. I would have believed it. Look, I don't know who is this? Who am I talking? And
Rusty looks at you guys, like her eyes are like just darting between you guys for some kind of direction. Like, what do you want me to do?
Double down.
Rusty says, Velreth, what are you talking about? It's me. In fact, I'm glad you called. These people came, they nearly killed me. They left me for dead. I barely survived. I've been trying to get a hold of you. What? We've got to talk. We've got to meet up. What did you need? And you hear from the other end of the line,
Ghana's gonna look over at Doc, and perhaps this is the opportunity to have your meeting. It seems he wants to talk. You're muted.
you hear
No,
you
I'm
hear from
not.
the other
I'm just
you
not
hear at the
sure.
other end of the line, Velrath just says,
says, Giovanni. It would make me nothing would make me gladder than to know that you're alive. But I have your dead body here with me. And I'm quite certain that it is not talking to me from the other end of this sending stone. Look, who is this? Can you hear me? Adventurers? Are you there? Hello?
We're here.
Look, I'm tired of games. I'm tired of this dance we've been doing. I know you guys don't like me. I know what you've been doing, trying to cut my legs out from under me. I don't blame you. Here's my offer. He says, you assembled a crew. That's great. You've locked my doors. You plan to sneak in. You'll be glad to know I don't want to stop you. I have no intent of trying to prevent you from coming in. I've sent everyone home. We don't need extra casualties. I've kept only my undead that staff my lighthouse. They're here, and I've commanded them not to attack you. The doors are still unlocked. The path is open. If you would like to parlay with me, you can find me on the 3rd floor of the lighthouse in my throne room. I'm done with the games. I'm done with watching you from afar, hearing through my informants about your plans, your ideas of exploding my fortress with cannons from ships. Silliness. Come, talk to me in person. If you believe that you can defeat a Litch, show me. We'll see you soon. And he hangs up.
Who's the snitch?
everyone around the campfire just like looking at each other, unsure of how to react at this moment.
You know, I never trusted
Ross
that
says it
Polaris.
wasn't him.
It was Polaris all along. She's
He was the
one who's
only
been here.
one that's been gone for extended periods of time.
Oh no!
You said Graw says it wasn't him?
Yeah, Gross says it wasn't him.
It was Graw. The whole time it was Graw.
She's the only one that doesn't.
Rats just in disguise.
You know, she has time that wasn't accounted for. Remember when we all went through the portal? We went one place and she went somewhere else. She was snitching.
She had a meeting with Velrath before we could even get there.
Never.
So I have an idea. His
Gather
throne room
everyone
is on the
together.
3rd floor. Isn't his phylactery on the top floor?
Yep.
What if-
Penelo says, look, I realize you guys have all of our allegiances now in question. So take this as you will. But yes, the lighthouse, no one other than his undead staff is allowed in the lighthouse. He doesn't trust anyone living, anyone that's out of his direct control. But my understanding is that it's a 4-story tall lighthouse. His throne room is on the 3rd story, and the light is on the fourth.
So, what if I could just walk past Velrath and get to the 4th floor?
What would you do when you get there?
I would
that
end it.
structure is it's the size of 10 men.
I would just
I would
break
like
it.
to.
I just have to break it, don't I?
Can Polaris do some insight of like thinking back to her time in Velas Fortress and how she met Tenelo, and just kind of re-examine the relationship, just to like, especially once he was like, "Oh, what would you do? How would you do it?" And she'd be like, and kind of rethink.
Yeah. Roll an insight check.
Okay. Where is that button? There it is.
A 10?
Yeah.
With the 10, you feel still pretty trusting of Tenelo. Your gut does not there's nothing in your gut that makes you think you're not positive. I mean, everything now feels like it's kind of in question, but you don't have a strong suspicion of Tenelo with the 10.
Okay.
Hard to say. Anyone else, obviously, you guys all have the ability to do whatever insight checks or perception checks that you want to try to do on the other people that are here.
Ez is just waiting to hear back about the idea he had of walking past Velrath to the 4th floor.
As I'm
Yeah,
not
you guys can
sending
provide
you in
feedback
there
on that.
alone, at all. That's not an option.
But what if I, like, I'm not even going to talk to him. I'm just going to walk past like I own the place.
If he
Doc,
knows
have you ever
about our
been-
plan to blow everything up, what makes you believe he doesn't know that we've attacked Ivo?
Oh, I gave up on that plan a while ago because, unfortunately, I agree. He must know somehow.
So how would you just simply walk in?
Who has been to
One
the
does not
northern
simply walk
forests
into
here?
Mordor.
Who's been to the northern forests here?
Donna?
So
I think probably only Ghana.
So Ghana, and the reason he asked is he's gonna let Ghana know, because if someone is like a snoop or something, unless they know this very specific example, they're not gonna know what Ez is trying to do, I would argue. So Ghana, you know, when you go into the northern forest, sometimes you hear like laughs or giggles or like little, sound like little creatures running around, but you can't see them or pinpoint them or really know where they are. They just seem to be everywhere, but nowhere all at the same time.
DM would gotta know about that.
Yeah, this is something that, especially in the northern forest, if you spent multiple days there, you would sometimes notice. In the real world, these would actually be the voices of like foxes and things in the distance, but in this world, it's not quite known. Sometimes the legends are, and as a follower of Ayun, you would know that there's people say it's spirits of the forest, or there's all kinds of different legends about what these voices are that you sometimes hear in these distant reaches.
But yes.
So as player to player, Ez can cast invisibility. And essentially Ez is telling Ghana that he can do what those voices do, and essentially its pixies are just invisible, messing with people in the forests. And that's what Ez is trying to get across to Ghana, using more cryptic language. So if someone was a spy, they wouldn't know
Then
that Ez...
Ghana would respond. And what if Velrath is attuned to the ways of the forest? Basically saying, like, what if there's someone that can see invisibility or true sight? Like, a Litch is really powerful.
True. as would just be, well, then I just gotta be extra sneaky. And worst case, Growler will protect
Butterbeard
me.
across is getting increasingly kind of frustrated. He's like, "You guys are planning all of this. What one of us is a mole? You guys are making all these plans. One of these people might be relaying all these messages back to Velrath.
I want
Could be me.
I want to roll, I guess, insight. Doc is looking around.
Butterbeard. Confirmed. Butterbeard is the snitch.
Yeah,
He just
He
said
never
it could
undid
be
the
me.
he never undid the brainwashing.
Oh my
Couldn't
gosh, the
hurt
brainwashing.
A butterfly.
He never
The
undid the
brainwashing was
brainwashing.
never undone.
But he could look. He could look. He could still tell the Velrath. He couldn't hurt anybody,
Yeah.
but he could inform. I think
Yeah,
Doc.
he could just be like a boomer who like got scammed on Facebook and he doesn't realize that he's informing Valerie. You're looking around. Give me a perception roll, or sorry, an
Yeah.
insight roll.
Insight roll. Come on. Please. be
Butterbeard's like, you should be sending all of us away. You should be sending me away. You should not have this conversation with all of us.
16.
This- With a 16, let's see. You see a couple of things. The people who look the most uncomfortable right now are Penelo, Rusty, and Luna. The three of them, this all seem they're the ones that are like the most sweaty in this moment, right? They seem the most anxious about this what's going on. And then I think you also I think with a 16, that's the main thing you can tell. You just are able to tell. You're looking at Liv, and she seems like frustrated and concerned, but not like as personally anxious. Redbeak is kind of his typical self. He's a pirate. He just kind of seems. He's always just kind of a little bit of a loose cannon. He doesn't seem any more or less wild than he usually is. And Butterbeard seems just genuinely concerned, a little bit of a Samwise in this moment. But Tenelo, Rusty, and Luna all seem especially worried.
Doc would,
anxious.
Doc would look at Ghana and Polaris and Ez and be like, we need to discuss this alone. The strategist in me says that we need to not share our strategy with any more than we absolutely are necessary.
The rest of the party, they'll kind of look at each other. Butterbeard says, "He's right. Everyone, look. As much as I'd like to help, they can't know which of us they can trust. Let's go." And Rusty and Luna both are like, "Yep, come on, all you guys, get out of here. We need to be able to have a private conversation. You guys, go on." And everyone starts to leave. You see Rusty and Luna are both kind of looking at each other like, and you said we need to have a private conversation. Like, it's us. And they're both kind of assuming that like they're part of the we, that they're part of the inner circle here of trust. And they're kind of looking at you guys
Poor
like,
Rusty.
should we leave or what? You guys, everyone else has left. Butterbeard, Redbeak, Liv, Tenelo, they all kind of went off to some other areas.
It's best that we bring it down to boil the group down to the smallest.
The four of us who are
possible.
going in. The four of us who are going
Yeah.
in. Just
to
in
ensure.
case. Just in case.
Luna points to the horse that's with you. It's like, the horse has been here for like 3 hours, and you trust. Fine.
That thing came out of nowhere.
Look, I'm not trying to cause any problems. I'll go. And
It's not because we don't
he
trust
leaves.
you, but if you truly care about us and what we're doing, it's unfortunately a sacrifice that needs to be made. Plus, we don't want you to get hurt.
They leave. I would like you guys to do all of you roll a perception check as the last two of them walk out.
That's a 21, not a dirty 20.
Okay, I was gonna say this is a DC 20.
18.
You beat it. Anyone else?
I got an
Does it
18.
have
Sorry, I need
anything to
to-
do with me sniffing someone out?
This does, this does
Oh,
not
I
have
see what
any
you did there.
scent component.
I see what you did there.
You're muted, Annika. What did you get? I'm not looking. I don't see the rolls right now.
I think he's the
Okay,
only
so
one.
only Doc got the
Yeah,
20?
He's the only one.
Mm-hmm.
So, Doc, you as they leave, see a small, like a mini-sized version of a sending stone falls out. As they walk out, you see the flaps kind of close behind them, and then just kind of tinkling to the ground and rolling under the door and back into the I'm going to say, just for the sake of simplicity here, that you guys are you guys were in a tent for this conversation, where you had the campfire, because that's where you guys would have kind of set up shop, stay warm during the night. So everyone else leaves this tent, and as the two of them leave, you just see, you barely notice it, but you catch a glint, and you hear just the light tinkling noise as a tiny little sending stone rolls back under the door.
We don't know who though.
No, it happened. Both of them leave, and just a moment later, it looks to you like someone rolled it, tried to
After who
discreetly
left?
roll it under the tent flap. The last two to leave were Luna and Rusty. They both thought that they were like, well, we're staying, right? And you guys explained that they both need to leave. So the two of them walked out, and a moment later, you saw someone from outside seem to try to discreetly roll this little sending stone under the edge of the tent.
Doc would go over to the sending stone and pick it up,
Crush it.
and he would say, "You put a hole in my ship. I'm coming for you." And he crushes it.
Great. Okay, so you all see this happen.
What was that?
I'm not sure. I think it was our snitch. So Doc would gather everyone around and say, I actually like part of Ez's plan, but I think that what we should do is not let that be the only plan. This is what I think might be a good idea. Ez, how long can you keep that Whisper of the Forest mode up?
I'm only strong enough for 1 hour. I'm still a
I
novice.
think that should be enough time to make it through the tower without anyone knowing. I think that we should have Ez do that with the ring, with the bomb, while Polaris, Ghana, and I talk to Velrath. Ez makes his way up to the phylactery, and he explodes it.
I can do that.
With the ring.
Should we set a delay on exploding it? So Ez doesn't explode with it?
Well, I was just thinking he would lay it there, then step back a bit, and then...
But do we know how big the area of this explosion is going to be? Because what I'm thinking is, let me see here.
If you guys want to do some kind of, I think you would be the most equipped for this, like an intelligence check, to see if you have a good sense for how big of an explosion it would cause when you detonate this
For
thing.
me to do that?
Any of you can. You would have advantage as an
Okay.
artificer.
Just a straight intelligence, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Intelligence.
Be a 15.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're not sure.
Doc, I have
Doc's
no
not sure.
idea.
You know it's going to be big. Inika, Kana's not quite sure either. You guys don't have a lot of experience with
ain't even
explosives,
gonna
understandably.
I have an idea.
But Polaris, you have a pretty good feel for it. The explosion would wipe an entire floor of this tower. Meaning, if you put it at a lower floor, the whole tower would come down. If you put it at the top floor, it's gonna wipe out that whole tower or that whole floor of the tower. It's big enough. You guys could kind of see the tower in the distance, or store anyway. Yeah, you have the sense that it could wipe out a full floor of this tower.
Okay, so we could do it at a lower level, set it off, and potentially be able to collapse the whole tower with no guarantee that'll destroy the light. Or it would be able to destroy the light if we set it off up top, but the chances of Ez going boom with it are significant. So my thought is I can create my cannon and send it with boots with the instructions. DM will have to let me know if this is an acceptable way to arrange it. Basically with instructions to the cannon to fire on on Ez's command, and as you can be halfway down the stairs or something and yell fire and
Okay. And yeah,
And
anything
then it
that I
fires
carry
and
also
does
turns
it.
invisible. So as long as I can carry the cannon, it can turn invisible with me.
yeah, it'll hold onto your back. So if the DM will let us do that, my cannon will last for 1 hour, just like your invisibility.
Yeah, so you could take your little cannon that you make. Ez would carry it up there, place the bomb, and then use your little cannon as basically a remote detonator that you can communicate with.
Essentially, yeah.
And then I'll also turn into Ivo for the hour, just so that if he has any information in his brain about navigating the place, or maybe he's smarter than I am on triggering the bomb, I can use that.
Okay. Yeah, it's worth noting right now you guys don't really know the layout of this lair at all. Ivo would know it. So would
Right.
Tenelo.
This would allow us to potentially, hopefully, defeat Velrath, maybe get a little information from him, and not destroy the entire tower, so that we can look for more information once Velrath has been dealt with.
Yeah, we still gotta find my mom.
Yeah. All right, is this basically the plan that you guys want to try and execute?
Any thoughts, Ghana?
He's just gonna trust you guys.
Aw, Ghana's gonna trust us.
Ghana's in a moment of, I think, of feeling kind of conflicted about maybe violence isn't as bad as I thought it was. Maybe.
And don't worry, Ghana. I know
great.
if I blow myself up, you'll bring me back. You're good at healing.
You guys step out of the tent and you see all of your friends had kind of, they're trying to make themselves seem busy, but they're all not that far away, just kind of nervously waiting to see
They're
what direction
literally
you guys
all
give.
outside the door with their head against the door.
And you guys lay out this plan. Can you guys briefly let me know what, if anything, you want from each of these people in terms of a role that they will play? You could tell them all, we don't trust you. You guys stay here, stay safe. Or you could ask them to do specific things for you as part of your
Is
plan.
there anyone we don't trust in particular?
Everyone stay
Doc
here
would say-
and fight each other.
If you can
I think before they
pinpoint
walk
it,
out,
if you can pinpoint it to one person, Ez can have a sit down talk with them, and
Last
maybe
one
he can find
standing is trustworthy.
out. Because
Who-
we might be
who
able to
wants to
actually use
split the
them
baby
to our
in half?
advantage if we can find out who it is. Because Ez might be able to turn them if he can sit down with them.
Doc would tell them before they leave, I don't know Penelo, so I don't trust him. Luna has a really sketch past. And so she looked a little unsure when I was staring everyone down. And unfortunately, as much as we love her, we don't know what kind of programming is inside of Rusty. She also looked pretty uncertain, a little bit nervous when I was kind of staring the group down. I think everyone else is fine, but I don't know.
So
You know the
3
worst
people
part?
possibly.
Is after talking to Ayun, Ghana unprepared Zone of Truth for a damage spell.
No.
Doesn't Doc have Zone of Truth though?
I do have Zone of Truth. I didn't want to spend my spell slot.
I don't
Although-
want to use my spell slots before the fight.
That's fine.
Oh.
If you guys don't have any specific requests for any of these people as part of your plan, the only 2 things will happen. One, you see Tenelo comes over and says, "Look, again, don't feel. I understand why you guys don't necessarily have any good reason to trust me. You barely know me. I want you to have this. If you decide to use it, great. If you decide to throw this in the fire, that's up to you." And he hands you. He had found some parchment there in the caravan, and he's drawn out a layout of the fortress so that you guys have some sense of what you're getting yourselves into.
I want to look at that map.
Yeah, okay.
And analyze the parts that I've been in and make sure that they actually are like correct. Like make sure it's not like been messed up to lead us wrong, since I've been at least in chunks of the fortress. I want to make sure it lines up.
As far as you can recall, the whole area, kind of the basement area that you were in, where the Department of Transportation was, all looks exactly like what you remember.
Okay.
He hands that to you, and then you guys, before we wrap up here, give me one last perception check.
All of us?
Mm-hmm. This is, this is your perception
15.
check. I was gonna,
Ugh,
15,
7.
18.
16, 18.
I'm
Okay.
too busy looking at that map.
So he hands that to you without any specific instructions. Everyone says they kind of send you on your way with their blessing. Rusty looks concerned, but wishes you guys well. And they all kind of disperse. They head out to their various parts of the caravan and try to make themselves busy, put their anxious energy to some use as you guys turn your attention toward the fortress. As we get ready to pause here, the only thing that you guys notice is they disperse. You guys turn your focus. As you specifically, as you are, there's been a lot going on. Something is like nagging at your mind. And as you think about it, you realize that of all these people that were here, there's 2 people that as you've now come back out were missing. And you realize that both Butterbeard and Luna were not standing there in the group anymore. So they either have left or something. They weren't there with the rest of the group. And everyone else has kind of walked away. And it's kind of bothering you. It's going to nag at your mind. They're gone. You guys look up, and the fortress of Velrath looms in the distance above you. As if you want, not Oops. If you want to kind of pan over in Owlbear, you'll be able to see way off to the right there is what you see on the map and what you also can actually see in front of you. This massive fortress, inside of which you actually can see now. So I'll get rid of all this fog of war. You guys have a map. It's this massive fortress with a lighthouse. It looks like it was built around a lighthouse that was there before. And you guys pack up your things, make your final preparations, and start heading that way. And we'll go ahead and take a break right there. Hey guys, wanted to tell you about something we've got coming up. April 14th through 16th, the Campfires and Dragons crew is headed to the Nerd Culture Ministry Summit at Glen Erie Castle in Colorado Springs, Colorado. That's right. We'll be playing Dungeons and Dragons in a castle with a bunch of Christians. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a table for beginners. We're going to have a table for more experienced players. We're even going to be offering a table for people who want to try out Daggerheart. So if that's something that you're interested in, we're going to have a whole variety of different options, and it'll be a chance for you to play D&D with Christians in a real castle. Not only that, but the Nerd Culture Ministry Summit as a whole is a conference that's designed to help people use their nerdy passions and interests for the kingdom. So if that sounds at all interesting to you and you'd like to hear from keynotes like Butch Hartman, the creator of Fairly Odd Parents, you can come spend the day, hear the keynotes, check out the workshops, and then play D&D with us in the evenings. It'll be a true blast. Plus, our friends at Emberglow will have merch there. You'll be able to pick up some new dice and stuff if that's something you're into. So if that sounds at all interesting, head to ncmsummit.com. That's ncmsummit.com. You can pick up your ticket, see a list of all the keynotes, all the details. We'd love to see you there.